Hey everyone! If you're loving these real-life inspired tales of drama and revenge, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Your support means the world. Now, let's dive into today's story. I never thought I'd be the one to orchestrate a downfall like this. My name is Sofia Moretti, and I grew up in the rolling hills of Tuscany, Italy, where the olive groves stretch like ancient guardians under a sky that shifts from azure blue to stormy gray with the whims of the Mediterranean winds. It's 2025 now, but the weight of our family's past feels as heavy as the stone walls of our ancestral villa in Siena. The air here carries the scent of cypress trees and fresh-baked focaccia from the local panetteria, but beneath it all lingers the bitterness of secrets buried deep in the red earth. My brother, Luca, was always the golden child. 5 years older than me, he had our father's sharp jawline and our mother's piercing green eyes, eyes that could charm a room or cut through lies like a knife through prosciutto. Papa, Giuseppe Moretti, built our family's wine estate from nothing after World War II, turning barren vineyards into award-winning Chianti Classico. He was a man of few words, his hands calloused from pruning vines in the scorching summer sun and harvesting under autumn rains that turned the paths to mud. Mama, Isabella, was the heart. Soft-spoken, with a laugh like wind chimes, but haunted by the generational scars of poverty and loss from the war. She died when I was 15, officially of a heart attack, but I knew it was the slow poison of disappointment. Papa favored Luca, grooming him to inherit everything, while I was relegated to the shadows, expected to marry well and fade into the background like so many Italian women before me. The betrayal started small, like a crack in a terracotta pot. After Papa's death 10 years ago, his will left the estate to both of us equally. But Luca, with his slick lawyer friends in Florence, manipulated the documents. He claimed Papa had amended it in secret, citing my unstable nature, a lie born from a single teenage rebellion when I ran off to Rome for a summer. I fought in court, but in Italy, family ties and old boys' networks run deep. The judge, an old hunting buddy of Luca's, ruled in his favor. I got a pittance, enough for a small apartment in Siena's historic center, while Luca took the villa, the vineyards, everything. He promised to care for me, to share profits, but it was all smoke. He married Claudia, a glamorous socialite from Milan, and turned our home into a playground for the elite, parties with Ferrari owners sipping our family's wine, while I scraped by teaching English to tourists. The real knife twist came last year. I discovered Mama's old letters hidden in the attic during a rare visit. Yellowed pages revealed the truth. Luca wasn't Papa's son. Mama had an affair during the war with a partisan fighter, a secret she carried to protect us all from scandal. Papa knew, but raised Luca as his own, pouring all his love into him to overcompensate. But Luca had found out years ago, from eavesdropping on arguments, and used it to blackmail Papa into favoring him. That's why the will was amended. He let Mama die without forgiveness, her heart broken by his coldness. The generational trauma hit me like a winter gale off the Apennines. Our family's resilience, forged in resistance against fascists, shattered by one man's greed. I gave him one last chance. It was November, the olive harvest season, when the air smells of crushed fruit and the fog clings to the valleys like a shroud. I invited Luca to dinner at my apartment, a modest place overlooking the Piazza del Campo, where the Palio horse races thunder twice a year. The square was alive with tourists bundled in scarves, sipping vin brûlé under twinkling lights. I cooked Mama's recipe, ribollita soup simmering with kale and cannellini beans, the steam fogging the windows against the chill outside. Claudia came too, her designer coat draped over a chair, her laugh too loud, too forced. Luca, I said, pouring him a glass of our family's reserve Chianti, the deep ruby liquid catching the candlelight. We've drifted apart. Let's bury the past. I forgive you for the estate. Let's rebuild as siblings. His eyes narrowed, that familiar green glint of suspicion, but greed won out. What do you want, Sophia? Money? No, I lied, my voice steady despite the storm inside. Just family. Come to the villa next week. We'll go through Mama's things together. Maybe find peace. He agreed, smirking as if he'd won again. Claudia chattered about their upcoming ski trip to the Dolomites, oblivious to the tension thickening like the fog outside. But I had a plan, slow burning like embers in a hearth. I'd spent months digging, hiring a private investigator in Rome, poring over records in dusty archives. Luca wasn't just a thief. He was embezzling from the estate. He'd been diluting the wine with cheaper imports, selling it as premium to international buyers. Tax evasion, too, hiding profits in Swiss accounts. And worst, he'd been having an affair with the daughter of a rival winery owner, plotting to merge and cut me out entirely. The moral dilemma gnawed at me. Was I becoming like him, destroying family for revenge? But the trauma fueled me. Mama's unanswered letters, Papa's silent suffering. This wasn't just for me. It was justice for them. The climax built over weeks. I leaked hints anonymously to the Guardia di Finanza, Italy's financial police. Whispers in wine circles about tainted vintages. Luca grew paranoid, his calls to me frantic. Sophia, have you heard these rumors? Someone's out to ruin me. I played innocent, visiting the villa under pretense of reconciliation. The estate was breathtaking in winter. Vines bare like skeletal fingers against snow-dusted hills, the villa's terracotta roof glowing in rare sunlight. Inside, the stone fireplace crackled, but the air was cold with unspoken accusations. Claudia sensed it, her eyes darting like a trapped bird. She confronted me privately. You're behind this, aren't you? Luca says you're jealous. Jealous? I whispered, my heart pounding. He destroyed our family. Mama died because of his secrets. Her face paled. She knew fragments but not the whole. In a twist, she became my unwitting ally, her own betrayal by Luca's affair cracking her loyalty. She slipped me documents from his safe, her hands trembling. I thought he loved me, she confessed, tears smearing her mascara. The power struggle intensified. Luca versus me, with Claudia caught in the moral gray. The night of the reckoning was stormy, rain lashing the villa's windows like accusations. Luca hosted a gala for investors, the rooms filled with crystal clinking and forced laughter. I arrived uninvited, dressed in Mama's old pearl necklace, the one he'd tried to sell. As thunder rolled over the Tuscan hills, I cornered him in the cellar, amid barrels of aging wine that smelled of oak and earth. One last chance, Luca, I said, my voice echoing off the stone. Confess everything. The will, the embezzlement, Mama's secret. Or I expose it all. He laughed, but it was hollow, his face slick with sweat. You have nothing, Sorelina. You're weak. Like her. What he did next left me speechless. He lunged, grabbing a bottle, smashing it against the wall. Shards flew like memories shattering. I'll end this now, he snarled, advancing with the jagged neck. Panic surged. This wasn't the plan. I dodged, slipping on spilled wine, the metallic tang mixing with fear. Claudia burst in, screamed, alerting guests. In the chaos, Luca swung wildly but slipped, crashing into racks. Barrels toppled, wine flooding the floor in a crimson tide. The police arrived amid the storm's fury. Luca, cornered, confessed in a rage. Everything. The forgery, the affair, the blackmail. But the twist. He revealed he'd known about my investigation, planting false evidence to frame me for sabotage. His last chance was a trap to silence me permanently. In the end, it was tragic satisfaction. Luca went to prison, the estate seized for fraud. Claudia divorced him, taking half in a bitter settlement. I reclaimed what was left, but the victory tasted like ashes. The villa stands now, restored, but empty of laughter. Spring came, blossoms on the vines promising renewal, yet the psychological scars remain, moral dilemmas unresolved. Was revenge worth the soul's erosion? As I walk the paths Mama once did, under a sky clearing after rain, I wonder if forgiveness was the true path untaken. But in Tuscany's enduring landscape, some wounds heal like the earth, slowly, inevitably. The guests dispersed that night, whispers of scandal rippling through Siena like the Arno's currents. I stood in the rain, drenched, watching Luca led away in handcuffs, his green eyes finally broken. Speechless? Yes, but free.